In 2 minutes, I'm going to tell you about all the radical Democrat policies that have passed out of the House this session. Ever wonder what it would be like if they had all three branches of government? Well, this is a pretty good indication. Let's start with H.R. 1, the For the People Act. What they mean by For the People is they're going to use your tax dollars to pay for political campaigns. Yeah, you heard that right. 6-to-1 match for small dollar donations. That ends up being billions of dollars of taxpayer funding for bad political ads. H.R. 3, price controls on drugs. Of course, we want lower drug prices, but this one, according to the Congressional Budget Office, would make sure that you have 30 less cures over the next decade. That's not good. H.R. 8 claims to be about background checks. They forgot to tell you background checks are already required at all gun stores and all gun shows. This one would make sure that if rioters were in your neighborhood and you wanted to borrow your neighbor's gun, you'd be a felon if you did it. H.R. 6 redefines what it means to be a dreamer, which basically ensures that most illegal immigrants in the country would get amnesty and a path to citizenship. H.R. 9 forces us back into the Paris Climate Accord, which forces us to hurt our economy even though we're the #1 in the world in emission reductions. China gets to do whatever it wants and is the #1 emitter in the world. H.R. 2474 claims to be pro-worker, but it's really pro-union boss. It actually forces workers to pay union dues even if they don't want to. Also destroys independent contracting, so say goodbye to Uber drivers. H.R. 1644 on net neutrality, trying to convince you that the only way to keep the internet free was to tax it more and to have government take it over. Does that sound right to you? H.R. 5, the Equality Act, which actually means federally enforcing the ability of men to play in women's sports, ending women's sports forever. H.R. 582, which basically eliminates almost 4 million jobs according to the CBO by raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Remember, a business's budget doesn't change just because the government tells it to. It'll just hire less workers. H.R. 51 makes Washington, D.C. a state. Why? So the Democrats can get 2 new senators. And that's on top of defund the police, abolish ICE, make excuses for China, make excuses for Antifa, abolish the Electoral College, abolish the filibuster. It's a dismantlement of our country and America and her institutions. Remember that.